Greetings and salutations, folks. I hope everyone is doing well, and welcome to tonight's second bonus / night ending bonus. Before we jump into it, a quick couple of links. As many of you may know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. These audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads that I put out daily, click the bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment and share the video. Why? Well, because these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. They definitely do matter, and they are appreciated. And with that, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to tonight's second and night-ending bonus upload, shall we?
All right, everybody. Today I have a follow-up interview with our friend John Phoenix from Sweden. How are you today, my friend?
Hey, Jeff. I'm doing great. I'm watching the soccer game here, one of the biggest national games in the world, and my team, we won with 1-0, so I'm happy. I'm a happy dude right now. Very happy.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you're in a good mood.
Yeah.
So today...
My throat is better as well.
Yeah, you sound a little better. We talked for a little bit before the interview, and you didn't cough too many times. But that's understandable. No. I mean, people are people, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to control a cough. But anyway, we got a format today. We got some Q&A, and then you're going to share with us some encounters. And I think you had said in a text to me that there's a couple of different encounters that are, scary or aggressive or whatever. We'll get into them after the Q&A, but we've got a list of questions that you so graciously printed or typed out and sent to me, which I appreciate. And a lot of the questions, John wanted me to let everyone know, and I did too, of course, is if your question has not been answered, chances are that it has been answered in previous interviews, or he doesn't have the information and has not been able to be in touch with Miss Misha, and that no one's getting neglected. We're doing this as best as we can and trying not to neglect anyone. And so if you feel like you're neglected, we apologize. That's not the goal. And hopefully we will get to everyone's questions. So I guess the first question I want to ask you, the portal question for this caller: do deranged dogmen / Bigfoot also fight off malevolent beings that try to cross over?
Yes, because they still are Bigfoot and Dogman, and they have a purpose here on Earth. But the prime reason why they fight off, because they are more feral, is because they don't want anybody to steal the food.
Okay. Right.
They don't want any competition of anybody else stepping into their living room or their kitchen to snatch the food out of their fridge.
Right.
So that's why even deranged or feral or aggressive ones are also on the same side of the fence as the malevolent.
Okay. Now, but this isn't part of the Q&A, so I'm going to kind of step off the side. Problem. But when you say malevolent, I think when I hear that word, I think demonic. And
yeah.
anything that I've ever read or kind of picked up as life goes on, I don't think demons, you don't really think of a demon eating or anything.
That's why. Sorry, I could have cut you off. Sorry, people. Then I misunderstood malevolent and benevolent.
No, I mean the malevolent. Like, I mean, are there?
Yeah.
Do these dogmen like Alpha and his tribe? Like you've already said that the ones over in Europe, Sweden, etc., are a different
more civilized
breed than what we have here.
Yes.
They are still, the ones that we have here are still of that bloodline, just less civilized. They're not demonic, but there are the demonic ones that do travel in portals too, I'm assuming. Do they ever wage war against these demonic ones too? Or just the feral ones?
No, now I understand the question. They also fight the other ones, but for various reasons, of course, not the same reason as the Dogman here.
Okay.
They want to be the king of the hill.
Okay. All right.
Because they're evil. So evil fights also evil to be the most evil.
Yeah.
They don't want any competition.
All right, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now, onto the second question, what do they hunt in other dimensions? Now, I think what was meant was, on that question, not food wise, but like, let's say, Alpha, he's more civilized and pure and this and that. When they cross over into these portals, is there other kind of entities in there that they have to fight? Like, I think that's what the question meant, in the other dimensions. Because there's that story from Skinwalker Ranch in that region, and there was a Ute, Native American, he was hunting, and he had seen a portal form like 3 or 4 feet above the ground, and this creature just drop out of it. He said it was like the blackest black as he was looking into the portal, and then this creature drops out and runs away. Obviously, we know that there's other dimensions. It's been scientifically proven. But do the dogmen that live on Earth, they cross paths with these creatures?
Yes.
And
because they fight. They fight on in both. They're fighting these beings or entities on both sides of the portal.
Okay.
Because they have this purpose to protect us from it. So it's better to go to the other dimension and fight them over there than they step into this dimension and cause mayhem.
Okay.
So now, they are warriors. They are warriors on our behalf. These kind of dogmen, or actually dogmen. The other ones are not dogmen.
Right.
Yes.
Has Alpha ever? And I'm going to steer away from the questions for a second, the Q&A just for a second. But I just out of my curiosity, has Alpha ever explained to you what the dimension? Like, I obviously there's multiple dimensions, but has he ever described to you what a dimension where they go kind of resembles? Has he ever given you? No. Okay.
No, I haven't asked. Like I said, I'm just in the beginning of establish a contact with Big Alpha.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm going to take this question because that was a very interesting question, and I'm going to take it to Miss Misha.
Yeah.
So I'm going to.
I'd like to know if it's kind of like.
I can't answer, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, like if it's, because I'm just going to speak for me. When I think of a dimension, I think of possibly it being like here, but just different. Or then another dimension, some sort of hellscape, and then, you know, like multiple dimensions, and
Yes.
you know, what is the kind of same properties that we have on Earth apply there too. You know, it's a very open, broad question, because there's just so many things that could stem off of it, you know. So
Exactly.
if you could, not saying right away, I know that you've got to go slow with everything with him, and but if you ever could, that'd be awesome. I'd really like to know that.
Of course, because it's also that, of course, I'm not going to bombard Miss Misha with 52 questions at one time and she pass it further to Big Alpha. We take it little bit by little, step by step, and see what kind of answers we get, because, like I said before, we're not entitled to know everything.
Right. That's another thing. I and I'm sorry to the word entitled to me. As a human, I don't like hearing that word when someone says I'm not entitled to hearing that, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, I understand that he is an alpha of his section of the world there. But that entitlement, like, it you know what I mean? It's like,
degrading.
Yeah.
Not.
Like, what gives you the right to, you know, and it comes from a higher power, higher than him, correct?
Yes. Because he just answered to one boss, which is the higher power, and he doesn't mean it in a derogatory way.
Right.
It's just a statement like, no, you can't have this information. It's the same thing if you go and you don't have the highest clearance to go into some federal building or get all the knowledge as the highest generals and admirals do.
Right.
They just say the same thing. It's not the derogatory. It's just a basic fact.
Yep.
You're not entitled to this. You don't have the access. Entitled is my word. It's more or less like, sorry, but you don't have access to this area.
Like, we don't have access to the Vatican's library in the basement or wherever it may be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that we are beneath the cardinals. Well, they may be thinking anyway, but, you know, it's more like, no, sorry. This is restricted area.
Exactly.
And that's more like maybe entitled, but that was
no, it's I was just kind of curious, you know, like, and I'm sure people, when they hear that, you know, they're like, well, why aren't we entitled? What you know what I mean? Like, because you think, as a human, you know, why is this dog breed, in no disrespect, obviously, but why is a dog breed a you know, half human, half dog / whatever, have more entitlement to me than knowledge, you know? So it's just, you know, really interesting question is, the Dogmen back in the day, when I think it was 1003, prior to that, they were trading with humans. What were they trading? What was the monetary thing gained and stuff?
Yeah. They were trading. They were trading territory, of course, and they were trading gold, silver, pelts, weapons. For that time, of course, advanced weapons. Okay. Because it's better to have a weapon to stand up for yourself than to use your arm to shield yourself.
Yeah.
And also, when they were mercenaries, they needed, of course, weapons and shields and armor. They didn't need it, but it was a part of the uniform. So, and also, of course, peace and understanding and collaborations was a part of the agreement. Okay. Because don't think for a second, anybody out there, that Dogman, they were not killed. Right. Of course, they were attacked on Dogman at their own territories and wars between humans and Dogman as well. So that's why they came to this agreement. And the humans who used the Dogman, of course, had advantage of fighting other armies. Not everybody had this Dogman. It was not like, oh, he's the highest bidder, so that's why we can pay made this money and so and so because they were loyal. The same thing as before, loyalty and trust. And those ones who were most trustworthy and loyal to them, they are loyal to the humans. There was so much more than just money or territory or the things that they get or traded.
Right.
And of course they need to use. I mean, a Dogman, they don't have any use for silver or gold, of course.
Right.
But they use it, of course, to buy things or trade something back with other people.
All right.
So that's a part of the whole deal with the trading business. Like everybody else, you can see in that just because they're Dogman, they don't need this and this and this in this kind of situations. Of course they did.
Yeah. Now here's a question: if you don't know, and if you don't mind, if you can remember it or jot it down or whatever.
I always listen to the segments over and over again, and I take notes.
With the trading, obviously back in the day, there was always trading of, like what you said, gold, land, silver, pelts, weapons, etc. But one of the biggest commodities traded back then, and one of the biggest things sought after back then, were spices. Simple spices for cooking and flavoring of food and stuff like that. Did they ever use spices to?
No.
So they just ate their.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, they like to smoke. They like smoked bacon, so maybe other
right.
smoked meat, but no.
And you know that
spices.
that
maybe they can use. Maybe they traded spice. I don't know, but they no.
Okay.
They don't put salt on the burgers. No.
Well, I'm not saying like salt. I'm I mean any kind of spices or.
Yeah, I was just kidding with you.
For medicinal purposes too. So
that one I'm gonna ask Miss Misha about healing and what they eat.
Turmeric is a spice, but it's also a healthy spice. It's used for multiple things and stuff like that.
But usually, I mean, when they get sick, they go to another dimension to heal. Even though it's not wound from a weapon or stuff like that, they go to another dimension to recover.
Okay. All right.
So they don't need, per se, cough medicine because they go to another dimension to heal. But it's an interesting question. I'm also actually going to take this up with Miss Misha.
Yeah.
Because I also am interested in learning more about them.
Right. And I'm assuming they don't cook their food. I mean, because you had said they have the ability to use fire because they could make simple tools. So if they can make simple tools, obviously have the ability to use fire. So they don't. Do they cook their food? I mean,
no.
Okay.
They are animalistic in that way. They are canine in that way.
Okay. All right.
It's not even medium rare. It's raw.
Right. Here's a broad question too. And I'm sure, there's a lot of people out there that are thinking this. If Alpha and his group, with the 6 other alphas, meet, obviously they are a superior at fighting and skills like that. It seems like if they all ever just chose to take back or just take from us, what's stopping them? What is stopping the Dogmen from waging, these civilized Dogmen? Because you said Alpha is civilized, and then, there are some here that are not civilized. But if there's alphas around, if there's 6 other alphas, those 6 other alphas would have to be civilized to commune, or to talk with the other alpha from Sweden and stuff like that. When they meet, so they've got to be civilized as well. So what is stopping these civilized Dogmen from banding everyone together, even the uncivilized ones? Because obviously they are still fouling an alpha, because there's an alpha in North America, but they have civilized Dogmen here. So what's stopping them from taking over the world?
That's a very short answer. They are answer to the highest power, and he gave them the assignment, the mission to protect the humankind. And they're sticking to it because they're so loyal. They're so loyal to a whole nother level than we humans are.
Right.
So that's the...
Their spirituality is unbreakable.
Yes. They are warriors, and they have an assignment, a task. And they're the ultimate task force you can ever imagine. It's like, they say to Navy SEALs or the Green Berets, and, you just go in, you do what you have to do. You stick to the task. And the loyalty, it comes in here again. It's not about trust in this case. It's about loyalty. Loyalty to the highest power.
Okay.
So that's a very short answer, but that.
Well, yeah, that's the answer I expected to hear.
Yeah.
Yep. Obviously, if Alpha.
You're loyal to your next in kind. You're loyal to the task, and I can just mention this, that somebody asked about the female alpha, and they mate for life. They are together for life until maybe, of course, the big alpha maybe dies or dies in some accident, you can say, or in a battle, whatever, or also if she dies, maybe of something else, I don't know. But they are sticking together for life, power couple.
Yeah.
And the pack is sticking together for life, unless, of course, they have to go away to not get inbreeded, of course. You always need to have new blood, but you're still loyal to your dad and mom.
Right.
It's just like us humans. So it is so hard, is loyal and trust, and that's why I have to prove myself to be loyal to them to gain their trust, and for them to trust me onwards.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
The loyalty is key. The key to everything.
They're a servant. They're a servant of the higher power.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question is curious why some seem to become soldier-like. Do pure dogmen know if they have a spirit or soul? Yeah, that's a good question. Do dogmen have a soul?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
More or less everything in the universe. Of course, not the jellyfish. Oh, maybe they have. I don't know.
Yeah, don't speak for a jellyfish because they may.
No, yeah, they may. Maybe they get angry at me.
You get stung in your foot next time you go to the ocean, buddy.
Yeah. I got one in my face when I was 10 years old. So
you told me that. Yeah.
No, the thing is that everything that lives and breathes, they have a soul if they are thinking. So even, I know this seems a bit too rough for some of you out there, but even the bad ones, of course, have a soul. They have a dark soul.
Right.
And that's the thing of the battle of good and evil. The devil, so-called, actually exists. He wants them all over to his side. And then that's why you say a dark soul.
Okay.
So even aliens, everything that's created by God, everybody has a soul.
Yeah, I mean,
and then some of them step over to the dark side.
You just keyed in on it. You said even aliens or extraterrestrial, but they were created by something. So if there's one mighty, wherever it may be, creator. Yeah, that's interesting. Something you really don't think about is, do aliens have souls or extraterrestrials? Very interesting.
And some people say no, they were soulless. Yeah, because they are then on the bad side, and you become more and more soulless. But that's also not soulless. There's lack of empathy.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes hand in hand.
Exactly, like a serial killer. A serial killer.
Yeah, exactly.
Has a soul, regardless of what he has done, but there is no empathy or sympathy or anything. He's just a lunatic.
John Wayne Gacy had kids. Most of the serial killers, they have kids and wife, and they go home and they kiss the kids goodnight. Mm-hmm. And the wife too.
The Iceman, the Mafia King, the Iceman there.
Hitman.
Loved his family, but he shot a man once with a crossbow just to see if it would kill him. And that's just lack of empathy. He still had a soul.
Yep.
I saw an interview with him, and he cried in one of his interviews because he realized that he had hurt his family so much. So that's just proof of a soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Even Hitler had a soul, and he loved his dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ava, he loved Ava as well.
Yeah.
These rogue dogmen. All right. This is,
Yeah.
and I'm, cause I have questions too. So I'm sorry I keep stepping off the Q&A.
No worries.
But
I'm here for answering as much as I can.
We have, like I had just stated, the 7 alphas. All right. So even though the alpha in Sweden, you say, are civilized, all the other alphas have to be civilized as well to communicate with this alpha. And obviously there are other civilized dogmen under those alpha too. And then there are the rogue ones that go rogue. I find it hard to believe, and you've never told us this, so, but I find it hard to believe that all dogmen in Europe are civilized. I'm sure there's got to be rogue dogmen in Europe somewhere, right?
Oh yeah. We have rogue dogmen.
So there are like what we have here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, because rogue dogmen are the ones who get outcasted from the pack.
Mm.
They never flying solo from the very beginning. Something happened to them. Actually, they made some bad choices in their life, so they got expelled. Maybe they tried to overthrow the alpha. Maybe they jeopardized the security of the pack, because they're individuals. So not all of them can be the big alpha, because not all of them are equally smart.
Yeah.
So all the rogue ones who are dogmen are the ones who are outcasted, expelled.
Okay.
And when you go rogue, when you become rogue, some of them dies because the packs hunt them down and kill them. And the reason why you can't find the bones, more or less, is because they take the body and they bury it where humans can't find it. Or if the rogue ones escape for some reason or get away or whatever, because like I say, they play by the earthly rules here.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any crystal ball and say, yeah, he's in the vicinity of 25 miles from here. Let's get him, boys. No. Well, 25 miles is not a big distance, but you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So if they die and the pack can't bury the body, then they just leave to rotten, and then the scavengers comes.
Okay. All right.
And eat up the rest. And I mean, it's a forest floor, so of course there's not going to be much left of it. And of course, some humans have seen some sort of bones that they think is suspicious.
Right.
And if they call the authority, and the authority says, yeah, it's a bear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always a bear. So that's the answer to that one about the rogue ones.
Okay.
And they go crazy because they are pack
animals, and once
people,
they get
they're pack animals, so they want to belong. And once again,
they get outcasted, and they just can't.
Loyalty.
Yeah, they get outcasted. It's that's spot on. If in a community, let's say of 100, a small community of people, and one person gets expelled from that community and he is out in the woods by himself, he's going to go rogue. He's going to get upset, violent, and saddened. And that turns into anger.
Who are the guys who goes back to school and shoot as many kids and adults or classmates as possible?
Yeah.
They are the human rogues,
outcasts,
because they're outcasted.
Yes. Yeah.
And the reason why they go and attack animals is because they are frustrated and angry of everything, and of course they can't go back to the pack and try to challenge Big Alpha, because that's a death sentence from the beginning. So that's why they take it out on not so much wild game, but sheep, cows, horses, all the cattle,
livestock and such. Yeah.
Livestock. Yeah, you say livestock as well. Is synonym.
All right.
So that's why we have it over here in Europe, that they go and kill on a rampage.
Yeah.
And recently, just the other day, I was walking with my dog, and he's an American wolf dog. And the one guy stopped me, and we just had a chat, because he is 30% wolf. He's a big ass. He's so big, and he's only like 9 months old. And he said, I've been to a moose hunt, because now we have the season for hunting elk. And it was one enclosure of deer, because we have enclosures of deer here, but just for the meat, of course. And he said, they don't like wolves down there in the southern part of Sweden. I said, I know, of course, hunters don't like wolves because there's a competition for food. And he said, no, they don't really dislike wolves there. Well, I said, no, there are no wolves down there. Maybe one who goes, every 10th year, they just skirting away from the ordinary territory that they usually are, close to the Norwegian-Swedish border and up north. And he said, yeah, because they found 13 deer killed, but only one eaten. And I was just smiling inside, like, sorry, man, that was not a wolf. A wolf doesn't kill 13 deer and in one take and just eat one,
right,
intestines of one. No way. But I didn't say anything. I was like, interesting. Same thing up in Norway, when they found, like I said in the previous segment, they found a lot of elk killed, slaughtered, and they just had eaten the soft tissue and the mule. You said the mule, right? The nose, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I understand. Yeah. And I had just I had stumbled across a news article that it's happening in Japan right now. There's a huge swath of land where farmers are having their cattle torn apart and just the soft tissue and soft insides being eaten. And of course, there are a few photos of bear, but then there's these huge paw prints, 7 inches wide, 5 digits. And definitely to me, that smells like a Dogman. And that's a rogue Dogman, and many of them, because like you said, it takes more than one to cause so much damage. There's a question that I think everyone's talked about, and I've had a person on my show that shared with us a lot of information, but is the dark government, and I would just say all government is kind of dark if you think about it, using some to be super soldiers?
The super soldiers, they are not Dogman at all, because the only way to not control Dogman but to get them cooperative is actually to be a mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
So super soldiers is something else.
Human.
Maybe it's created by humans.
Mm-hmm.
If they exist.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it's not, but nothing that we have some information from Alpha.
Right.
Because here's the thing. If you try to capture a Bigfoot and Dogman, they can die at will because they are on a higher level, so they will actually let their soul go, you can say. Or they die here in this dimension. They don't jump into the other dimension because they have this earthly rule. So you can't capture and hold one Dogman or Bigfoot caged. You can capture a live Dogman or a live Bigfoot if they are severe injured and haven't got the chance, neither of them haven't got the chance to step into the other dimension. And then, of course, they die. So, of course, the different authorities all around the world, they have corpses of a Dogman and a Bigfoot, of course.
Now, you and I have talked about Victor, though. And now, the breeding program, what you just said to me, or to us about right now, he had stated that the Bigfoot died. But then the kind of offshoot Dogman, one with human leg, no tail, what they call werewolf, were captured and Dogman captured. What was the deal with that?
That's I'm not gonna trash Victor here, but they don't have any captured Dogman. So-called werewolf, it is abomination, so that's a whole nother ball game. So that might be true. But if you have human legs and you are very hairy, you're not a Dogman.
Right.
And then maybe they can be captured because they play smart, because they are demonic beings from the ancient time that, like I said, they've been dabbling with the dark magic. So if you see a werewolf who can speak, like I said, anything that speaks are demonic or from demonic forces. So of course, if he spoke the truth about this Sebastian, of course this werewolf just played them along. He just played them. Would be perfect to be served all your meals and having three females just strutting around. Perfect. Right. If he's old, it's like sorry, but it's like living at Playboy Mansion.
Right.
Of course. Which guy doesn't want to live as Hugh Hefner when you're 80 years old?
Right.
So he just played them. He just played them.
And
if he wouldn't have met Big Alpha or any Alpha or any other of the Big Alpha, he would get killed. Because they see through bullshit in that way. They see like, no, you're not the Dogman. You're gone. You're history. Because this Sebastian was not good. He was evil.
So he was a demon.
Not the demons in that way. But
something from a different dimension?
No.
Portal?
No. Werewolf comes out of here on Earth on, the ancient black magic.
Okay.
So werewolf they are another ballgame. That's why some people see Dogman wearing clothes and speaking. No, they're not Dogman. They are werewolves, and they are doing it for a certain purpose, which is evil purpose, bad purpose. So I can say if that thing was true or if it's just a made-up story, I don't know. And that's my opinion. It's not Big Alphas, but it's my opinion.
Right.
But if it existed, and I said it's a werewolf, then he played them. 1-0.
Right.
Good for him. Bad for them.
Yeah.
Because I heard about one encounter down in Alabama. I think there was one guy who was talking about he met the werewolf and they spoke, and he was benevolent. He was nice and so on. So yeah, of course there can be some individuals who maybe feel regret of doing that one, or that doesn't want to be a part of this evil part of the world and so forth. But still, though, if I meet one so-called Dogman who speaks, I will just say, F no, I'm out of here. You're not going to get smoked bacon from me, pal.
Right.
Nope. So that's my take on it. And you can say I'm totally wrong, or you can agree, or you can just take it under consideration. But like I said, I know what I know, and I form my own opinions as well on certain things that have been on Jeff's channel and also on other channels.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before in a couple of videos, I have a platform. I have a platform for people to share their experiences or what they know, and that's what it is. So I wasn't there. I can't call it. It's virtually impossible to vet somebody because I wasn't there with you, them, whoever. So
exactly. And Victor has been spot on other things. Spot on.
Yeah.
According to my information and the knowledge I know. I don't know anything. Like I said, I'm not the Dogman whisperer. I didn't ask for having this sort of information, but I'm proud, I'm humble for it, and to be in this exclusive little group of people who actually have the connection with these beings.
Right. Okay.
So that's why I'm not going to go in any polemic with for and against Victor, or is it right, is it wrong, in the comment section. It's up to each and everyone to listen to what I have to say and listen to what Victor had to say and form your own opinion. It's about everything. Form your own opinion. Gather information from different sources and form your own opinion instead of listen to other people.
Yeah.
Like blindly follow. Yeah, we have to follow this one because this is the truth. Everybody can watch Life of Brian. It's a perfect movie about being don't when you don't think for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You need to take what fits your opinion and don't leave it. Don't throw it away, because later on it may be of value, so just sorry. No, I'm just saying it's a puzzle pieces, and I think that, your information, other people's information, it might not fit someone's opinion at that time, but just because you don't agree with it right now, don't throw it out the window, because you might miss that puzzle piece later on.
Yes. Take it under consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it in your vault. And exactly like you said, when you have laying the puzzle and you have some pieces left, and Jeff was right.
Well, I'm not right. I mean, I know.
An example that you listen to other people. You maybe don't agree with them all the time, and if the good side should prevail at any time and space, that you gather your information yourself. You sort out what is BS and what is correct in your opinion, and then you talk to other people. You have a different matter of opinion, but you still talk to them. You don't bash them. Like in some morons in the comment sections, I was like, even though you have a different opinion, why be rude? Yeah. And that's why some people get so offended, because they have the emotions.
Yeah.
F the emotions.
Right.
Check on the facts. Of course, everybody's emotional. I can be emotional as well. Of course. But put your emotions aside. Check the facts and see what's suitable for you. And then you can start communicating with others. And you can never, convince anybody else of your opinion at the moment. Never. More or less. The more stubborn the other person is, the less is the chance that you can convince him or her. But you can just plant a thought in the other person's head. And exactly like you say, 10 years ahead, they may be thinking, he or she was right. Or, I'm curious about this one. This can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. Very simple. And that's why Dogman think that we are a lower race, because we act like we act. Of course they have emotions as well. Of course they have.
Right.
They have a soul, they have emotions.
Right. All right, we got a couple more questions.
Of course.
We're about 41 minutes in.
Time flies when we speak.
Yeah. I want to answer a couple more, but then I want you to kind of share an experience with us too. So we might not get to all these questions today.
We continue. Continue. I have a few more encounters from other people that I want to talk about as well. Later on.
This one that I wanted to ask, but as I'm reading over it, Alpha is 60 years old. I just want to emphasize on this. He's 60 something years old. He's and I'm not asking a question. I'm just making the statement because you and I have talked a lot about this. So he's 60. He knows what he has been told. He doesn't know the vast regions of the earth. He is not the controller of the all of the knowledge of the universe. So there are questions that just, if you've heard these uploads with John, think about the questions you're asking, because there are some that just kind of, I don't know, that are kind of far out and way too hard for someone to answer, because he wouldn't know if you heard it, like, and this is where I'm going at, because they had said, interesting that I would hope someone as ancient as Alpha would know this information of these questions. Well, he's not ancient. He's 60 something years old. He only knows the information passed down. So, is there land past Antarctica, as Admiral Byrd stated? Was there a civilization that mastered free energy, air, atmosphere, and stored water? That's, to me, a hard question to ask, and to, ask Alpha, because how would he know all of that information? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like he has too much, he has other things to concern himself with. You know what I mean?
Yes, and with all respect for the ones who wrote the questions, of course, like I told Jeff off air, I will be the same. I would like to know everything about what Big Alpha can share with us. And he actually knows the answer to these questions. And I'm going to pass it on to Miss Misha and see if he thinks it's a moot point. You don't have to know this one. There's no purpose to it.
Right.
In his world. But he knows them. He knows more or less everything. But like I said, he chooses to pass on the information that he thinks is valuable for us, or can move us forward. But with all due respect to the one who wrote those questions, I'm going to ask Miss Misha about it. And that's not any hollow earth, no.
Yeah.
The earth is spheric. You say sphere?
Yeah.
The earth is a sphere.
It's not flat. It's definitely a sphere. Yeah.
No. If it was, this is just my opinion. If it was a flat earth, who puts a light out on the sun then? Otherwise the sun will be shining all the time.
It's funny.
It will be like a pizza or a pancake. Sorry, but how stupid are you?
Right.
If you think that there is a flat earth. Very sorry if somebody's offended, but it's logic.
Funny, you and I had talked about this, like our first day talking, and we were talking, you had brought up, I don't know how we got on the subject of it, but it was brought up with a hollow earth. And I had just been reading a article in the National Geographic where scientists have just found a deep underwater sea. And, we were just like, it's impossible. There's no sunshine in the middle of the earth. There's no, that's a fictional story written, there's no sun and clouds and this and that. And it's a solid planet. We live on a planet. And yes, there are things in the planet like oceans and molten core and this and that, but it's definitely not like King Kong.
No, and why should the Earth be, I'm not going to be long for this, but why should the Earth be the only planet to be flat when everything around us are spheric? Yeah.
You're crackling really quick. You're staticking.
I'm cracking. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, do you hear me better now?
Much better.
Yeah. Can you cut it out, this one, when we speak like this, or we're crackling, or are you going to keep it?
Okay, you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, with misunderstanding there of the process of recording.
All questions are good, and I wasn't ridiculing that person. I was just saying, like, they're like, I don't know, but all questions are good. There was no ridicule. So that if anyone took that as I was ridiculing this question, I definitely was not. But like, there are things that can be answered just by thinking about them or researching too. This one, I like this one. My question is, why now is Alpha wanting to share about his race of beings? Is it because of how the Earth is shifting into a higher vibration, or some other reason?
The short answer is that it's 2022, and he thought it was about time, because this year and the years previous, of course, with the pandemic, it had shifted. Yes, the Earth has shifted in one way. I don't know. I don't have the answer of it, but it is a strange time we live in at the moment. So 2022 is the year that he said it's time to reveal this kind of information via John Phoenix, and Miss Misha.
Right.
Maybe among other people as well. I don't know, because I don't have any contact with other people around the globe who maybe have the same experience. It's not like we are a little congregation and we exchange emails and sit on Facebook and have a FaceTime. No. I have no idea who they are. I have no idea. I don't have any interest in who the others are in that way.
Now,
I'm just focusing on here and now, and because otherwise it becomes like almost like a cult, like nah.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. It's almost like it works better that way for everyone not to know who everyone is. Like you said, it's less cultish then, and because you don't need the cult of the Dogman, like
no.
So
no, I'm just passing on information. I'm just a vessel, and I'm fine with it. And I and Miss Misha talk, and that's the way it was supposed to be, because we're living here up in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. So I don't have any interest in of being that way. Like, yeah, we are the Dogman Whisperers, and we're gonna form a little cult here. Or no, it's enough of cults in the world. We don't need another one.
Right. This next question will be kind of the last question, and all right, we had a little technical difficulty right there. I'm using Messenger to communicate with John, and I think it was because I received multiple Facebook messages that it just cut our call out. We're about halfway through with this next question, and I'm choosing this next question because we've got a little bit of time left, but this next question is going to lead us into the next part, which would be an encounter. So, why is Dogman seen so often in graveyards?
The reason why Dogmen are seen in graveyards is because those ones who are around graveyards who are Dogmen are the rogue ones. And the rogue ones can also form a pack, of course. If you have an out who survived, of course, the punishment, then they form a little group. And that group, they, of course, even though they are a group, they become more and more feral. And you can also say that they are more like, no offense to anybody, but they are like bums in one way. And I don't mean it not negative way, because everybody is not fortune as a human. But they don't care about the hygiene. They don't care about to behave civilized. So that's why they stick around graveyards. That's why they are gnawing on the bones sometimes. That's why, because they're crazy. They are like bag ladies in one way, crazy bag ladies who sing, talking to themselves. They are mentally ill, you can say, in a political correct way. They are crazy, lunatics.
Right.
So that's why they hang around, and that's why when you have an encounter with something that smells, try to walk away. Because if you think about it, those ones who had encounters with the smelly ones, they don't have any warning growls in the beginning.
No.
Often. They just stumble upon them. The same thing if you go into a back street in any city in the world and you stumble upon somebody who is living on the street. That's the same thing. And that's far more dangerous, of course, than you have this warning like the rest of them do.
Right.
Often. Not always, but often.
So,
and if you get growled at, then you know it is a Dogman, and they warn you. Here, but not closer. Walk away.
Okay.
It's like somebody else said in another interview that predators, they don't warn.
No, they just
charge
attack.
at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why they live by the graveyards, because they are actually filthy animals.
Right. A growl, if something's growling at you, it's more or less saying leave. Leave now. Like, I don't want to attack you, but I will if you keep coming.
Yes, the same thing with a dog. If a dog is well domesticated and it's raised properly, they put the ear back and growl. They warn you first.
Yeah. Yep.
It's only crazy dogs who attack you straight away, unless you have an energy of yourself being pretty crazy.
Right.
Or have a purpose, an evil purpose or a bad purpose towards the family or the owner or whomever walking the dog.
Exactly.
Or for the dog itself.
Now, I said that this would lead us into the next part. So I kind of got a question, and it's a question, but a search kind of for an encounter. I know that you've met lots of people in your area. You've talked with people, because you're very outgoing. You're a very nice person. You're easy to talk to. You and I have
Thank you.
talked for a very long time. Like you said, you'd spoken to that guy while you were walking your dog. Have you ever, and now this is new news, because prior to today we had just didn't really think about rogue dogmen or angry, upset dogmen in Europe. You had made it, not you had made it. It seemed like they were civilized all there. Have you ever come across anybody that has had an encounter with a rogue dogman, an encounter that was not like your first, or not your encounter with Alpha, where there was no aggression? But have you ever met anybody in your travels that has had an aggressive dogman attack in Europe? Would you be willing to share that with us?
No, not aggressive in that way, but way scarier than ours.
Right.
Way scarier, because this dogman is a rogue one.
Would you be willing to share that?
Absolutely.
All right.
This gentleman, we can call him Axel. Axel and his buddy is living on a farm a couple hours from Stockholm. And when he was a kid, they were about 13, 14 years old. They live way in the outskirts. Actually on a properly farm with heavy, like I said before, lots of woods around. A small city next to it, a couple of miles, more than a couple of miles, but a good distance from the farm. And they were riding the dirt bikes out, and then in the clearing, approximately 10 miles into the woods, they stumbled upon this dogman. And of course they just say, go, 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 go. And they were small dirt bikes. They were not the big ones. They were just 13 years old. So they started speeding off, and one dirt bike was of course faster than the other one. So he left his buddy behind because he was save yourself. But this dogman, he is approximately 8 feet tall. And he was chasing them, but not attacking them. He was running next to them. Broad daylight. So they just went back to the farm. And they were so upset, of course. And his buddy, he doesn't want to talk about it now as an adult. And this Axel, he just remember afterwards, now when I have spoken to him, that this dogman have peeked in his window since he was a kid. And I still haven't figured out why. But the same story as goes from other part of the world, that for some reason they are fixating with a kid. And the dogmen who doesn't try to lure the kids out by speaking to them are not the evil ones, you can say. They're not maybe nice in that way, like, hey, come out and play, we fetch a ball. No. And he had blocked out this in his memory. So time goes, and he stayed at his dad's house in this village, outskirt of the village, but still a village, with streets and street lamps and everything. And one evening he was going out to take a leak in the summertime. And he stood there 12:30 in the morning, doing his business. And then he just saw this dogman rising up from the trenches, literally 5 feet away from him. And he was, of course, standing a little bit higher up, but the dogman faced him face to face. And he was smiling to him, not an evil grinning smile, but, there you are, here I am. Because, of course, he could have attacked him. So, of course, he got that scared, so he just backed away from him. And the dogman sniffed his urine and just smiled at him. So he backed away into the house, went up to the second floor, and checked the window, and the dogman was still there. And he was panting like he has been running, because from the first point to the second point is, like I said, a few miles. And I talked to him and said, it's been like 10 years apart, and he's been away from the village for 10 years. How is this possible? Yeah, because he smelled him probably. I wanted to shake him up, just to scare him, just to be mischievous. So of course he couldn't tell his dad, because his dad wouldn't believe him.
Right.
And he is really affected by the first time and also now the second time. So he has more or less PTSD. And I talked to him, and he said that he had also activities later on in life, and he felt that somebody was watching him from the distance, from the clearing, from the wood line. And he is very awkward about it. He said, I don't want to see this one again. I don't want to have anything to do with this one again. And I talked to him just a couple of days ago and asked him for permission to tell this story. And he said, have you had any activity, Axel? And he said, yeah, all the time. But this time it feels more respectful. And it feels like there's more than one. And I said, yeah, because there are more than one. Because now it's the pack who watches you, not this rogue one. And his grandpa, he knew also about this rogue one before, because he was also in the distance when he was hunting, and he saw this big bear. But he never told, of course, his son or his grandson. Like I said, everywhere people don't want to be labeled as lunatics.
Right.
And this farm, his farm is abandoned now. It's empty, and he refuses to go there to pick up stuff, because they still own this farm. So he totally refused to go there, just maybe for 20 minutes, 25 minutes to pick up some stuff. Or when he does it, he needs his girlfriend with him or a friend. He's been up there one time in I don't know how many years. And that's so fascinating in that way, that this rogue dogman, because he is alone, he doesn't have any pack. He's not alpha, he's not a beta, he's rogue. Been following Axel since the age of 4 or 5. And scared the living daylight out of him a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just said, well, now it's a pack. The pack is there now, so that's why the rogue one is gone. And that's why he felt more mutual respect. I don't know if he has a connection with them, because he doesn't want to search him for that one, because he doesn't want anything to do with them. And that's why they're not going to reveal themselves to him, because they can feel that this guy is not ready. Ready is not the right word.
Worthy?
He doesn't want.
Worthy?
Worthy, yeah. Worthy in one way, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they they sense that he's not up for the task.
Right.
So maybe it's not scary for me telling it, but it's fascinating because this is one of the other encounters that I have from Sweden.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I and Miss Misha.
And it's completely, I mean, it really changed this guy's life. I mean, for him to not go to his own community where he grew up. I mean, that's a huge impact on him.
And it is a city. For us, it's a city. For you guys, it's just a small village, but it's
right.
25,000 people.
Here's something that I got off of that, though. And it's just a question because, as I was listening to it, I saw similarities in things, too. And so this rogue Dogman was following him as a child and saw him.
Yes.
And it ran alongside of him, but it didn't harm him. It didn't harm him.
No.
Now, usually, like with your handlers, they kind of watch you for a while prior to, right? And then, then they reveal themselves to you. Just a thought. Because it sounds similar to what could this rogue Dogman just have maybe taken it upon himself as to be this kid's handler, watching him and then revealing himself to him, but not being a pack, but maybe be instinctual. You know what I mean?
That thought crossed my mind as well, many times. Because I had an ongoing conversation with Axel through the years. And maybe it is possible because this Dogman was running along them. He didn't harm the buddy.
Right.
He didn't harm Axel.
And maybe it's like instinctual in that Dogman,
Yeah. Maybe he wanted to form some sort of bond, but still though it's very, very hard to form a bond when you're scared over and over again.
Right. And I hate saying this word, but like maybe it's like, because it's spoken about in the movie The Twilight, but maybe it was like imprinting itself on him. Like, hey, I've been here since you were a child. I'm here to help you or be your friend, or maybe the Dogman was lonely. He's an outcast, so he is lonely.
Yes.
Maybe he was looking for somebody that was similar to him. I was thinking the same thing, that it was probably the latter, because if you're an outcast, maybe he wants to form his own pack in one way or another. I don't know. Right.
But the thought has crossed my mind that when you live out on the farm, you're alone, you're a kid, and kids are very easy to connect with. But that's why kids connect with dogs and cats and other animals, and also they see ghosts and spirits and things that we don't see, because they can, when you are more pure
right, especially if you're left alone in the outskirts. Like I grew up in the outskirts. I didn't have, my friend's house was like half a mile to a mile away, and when you're young, it's hard to get to that unless your parents bring you. And so I was left to my own devices, which was a family farm, the woods. And, I would, so there was a connection to animals, for me. Part of my day would to go visit the horses, and when most kids were hanging out with their friends, because I lived further away, I'd entertain myself. Yeah. Or then there's the other thought of, because I was thinking, well, maybe it's imprinting, or maybe it's just looking for a friend, or maybe it's his handler, or maybe it was trying to start its own pact, but just kind of, maybe it was just trying to terrorize them as well. Maybe it knew mentally just to mess with the kid, just because he was an outcast, not the kid, but the Dogman was an outcast and angry and upset, and maybe it didn't have it in its heart or soul or wherever to harm somebody, but I can physically mess with him and scare him and get my pleasure that way.
Yeah. That's also the other alternative I've been thinking about, that he just messing with them because he has nothing better to do.
Right.
And been messing with him and surveilling him since the age of 4 or 5, because he was peeking in.
Yeah.
When he was living on the first floor at the farmhouse, his bedroom, we have hundreds of other stories of that one, that you have Dogman who's peeking in.
Yeah, I've heard
the windows,
multiple of them. Yeah. And maybe it just didn't want to attack him because it didn't want to get put on the target. Like you attack a child, and then you're a rogue Dogman. You've attacked and killed a human.
By the pack.
Yeah, and then you get killed by the pack.
Or authorities.
Right.
That's the two alternatives.
Right. So it kind of just entertained itself.
Yeah.
At the expense of this poor guy who now is...
yeah. He is a mess.
Yeah.
In that way. I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at the situation
right,
in one way, because...
Right. Yeah, it's not...
Actually, he is a mess, and I sent him the episodes, and listen to this, and I've been talking to him for hours also to explain the informations, what I get to give him some pieces of the puzzle.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. And that's, wow, it's definitely, it's really thought-provoking, because there's a lot of different angles that you could look at it at, and definitely cool.
And he never said anything to anybody, because he didn't want to be labeled as totally crazy.
Right.
And he's a hunter as well, and he's been in the military, and he can only be out in the woods when he have people around him. But I can understand that one.
Right. Yeah.
Especially now when he's living in the city, and he still feels that somebody is around. And he also heard somebody walking on the roof one night.
Damn. Yeah.
And one important thing I was asking Miss Misha about: how can they walk on the roof? Well, how can they sit in the trees when they are so heavy?
Yeah.
Is it like supernatural stuff, or no? Because they can shift the weight the same as a bear.
Okay.
For some reason, I have no knowledge about that one, because I like, what? Yeah. So they shift the weight and uses the things that they walk on, sit on, to elevate. Can you say that word? Yeah, elevate.
So when it's on a higher branch, it's kind of leaning more against the trunk, resting its weight against the trunk and sitting on. Yeah, that makes sense.
And they let the tree taking the weight.
Right.
So they're shifting the weight into the things that they walk on or sit on.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I never thought about that one, because I had this question myself to Miss Misha. How could this Dogman that she saw, one of them was standing on the lamppost, or holding the lamppost and standing on the side, like Gene Kelly in Singing in the Rain? I was like, how is that possible?
Right.
If he weighs about 400 pounds or more,
how is this tiny little branch going to hold him?
Yeah, and she said, because they're shifting the weight and using their own energy down to and weight. Well, it's energy as well.
Yeah.
Use it for the things that they stand on or walk on.
Yeah.
Aha, that makes sense. So I'm learning myself a lot of things that I didn't know.
Right. John, we're about up on time, my friend.
Yes. Can I say something short?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Last time you heard in my voice that I was very drained. Today I said St. Michael's Prayer, because I was talking off air with Jeff after last interview, and this works for me because now I don't have any pressure around me, because when you speak of evil, they don't like it when you inform other about evil. So that's why I was under attack in that way. Of course, it was not a demon standing here breathing down my neck, but the energy in my apartment was so, not bad or evil, but they still was so draining for me. The same thing with you at the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that it works for everybody. Whatever rocks your boat, if it's a blue stone, or if it's you pray to some other higher power, or you said St. Michael's Prayer, but try it. That's the only advice I can give, because now nothing. It's like the first time that we spoke.
Yeah. I mean, you were wiped out even the first time. You know, like you said, the very first time you were like, oh man, I'm tired now. And, you know, ever since then after.
And the last time was like I felt both dizzy and not falling asleep. I was so drained after the last segment.
Right.
Or actually during the segment, because as soon as you hit the record button.
Yeah.
I felt it like, oh.
Yeah, you were fine. We were talking and then boom. And you could hear it. Your energy was gone. So.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I have to add on this one. And then we continue everything else with my two last encounters. Miss Misha's encounters as well, of course, because that one is interesting, but it takes a bit longer time to inform or to talk about.
So we'll finish up. We'll finish up the Q&A and then jump to those.
Yeah. So that one will take a really long time to talk about because it's a big segment in itself. So we can take it next time.
Sounds good, my friend. Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing all your information with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Everyone appreciates you, my friend. We really do. So thank you. I appreciate it, and have a wonderful evening.
Likewise. Whenever it comes in like 8 hours for you guys, or 6 hours, depends on where you are in the US.
Yeah, I've got about another 5. So, well, no, a couple more hours of sunshine. So, all right, my friend, stay well, okay?
Likewise. Thank you very much, Jeff.
And there you have it, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this second and night ending bonus as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you for supporting the channel. It is your support that helps this channel to continue to grow and go, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories judgment-free. Everyone is simply treated with the respect that we deserve. Please stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and our friends. These creatures are real. These events have happened. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless you all.